Man, I'll tell you what, there's a rogues gallery in this studio this morning. Then there's a couple of nice people, too. Uh, we have Twin Falls County Commissioner Don Hall and the mayor of Twin Falls, Suzanne Hawkins. It is 5 minutes after 7 o'clock, and I got 26. It feels it. I mean, I opened the door for them, and I'm glad they didn't have to stand outside a long time because we did that to Suzanne last February.
We did.
Yes. That's Millington's fault. I should.
Yeah, throw him under the bus. He's not here.
Yeah.
I
Well,
survived.
I guess we have to clear the elephant in the room. There's not an elephant in the room, but just as I said, rogues gallery. But what's going on with the city today? I mean, one of these issues that comes up every now and then, you really can't escape, and that's this demonstration going on, and then discussion of a mask mandate. Will there be a vote, or perhaps could it be tabled?
Anything is possible at this point in time. It is on the agenda as an action item. We can, because it is an ordinance we're passing, it typically requires 3 readings of the title and 3 meetings. Because of the state of emergency that's in place in the state, we can put aside those rules tonight and elect it. And we don't have to publish this one. It can go into effect by whatever date we put on it. This one has very unique characteristics to it from anything we've ever done since I've been on council.
It's been publicly available, though. People can look at it online.
Correct. I believe it was released in its final rendition on Friday, and it is available on the city's website.
Now, you had been on a record saying that you saw your letter to the paper. It's always nice when family at the newspaper gives you a hard time. But I saw your letter to the paper where they were accusing you of being against this mandate, and you said, well, look, this would not work if neighboring governments don't do it as well. And I only know one other neighboring government that's considering this, Jerome tomorrow, but it's not happening anywhere else.
That is correct. So last Monday, before our meeting, I had a publicly opened Teams meeting with mayors from all over the Magic Valley. And we had started laying out groundwork for how, as a team, we could address this issue in the entire Magic Valley and come up with some solutions to help slow the spread of COVID without having to go down the road of actually passing a mandate. Because of what happened last Monday night at our council now, that's all been derailed. It's really hard to stand behind people and say, I mandate that you wear a mask, and then join with your other mayors and have a campaign to help educate and encourage after you've already ordered it. So things have been moving quickly and changing. I personally feel bad because I think having a approach of the entire Magic Valley working together would have achieved the goal we're trying to achieve instead of passing a mandate that I don't believe will achieve the goal.
You and Councilor Boyd right now, I think, are both in the no column, and Councilor Reed is somewhere still considering all of this, but that still would, the other 4 seem to be pretty much ready to go ahead. Although they don't probably tell you every last decision they're making in advance.
So the 7 of us do not talk outside of the council chambers on these issues. I can tell you I've had no contact with my other council members. I did not feel that Councilmember Reed was on the fence. I was counting him in with the other 4, pretty sure that he believes that this is the way to go as well.
Don Hall, you commented last week because I pointed out someone had told me that business owners want this, and you had a quick response in saying that's not what county commissioners heard.
No, we're hearing we're hearing both sides of this equation, from just the layman out there to business owners to everywhere around, any kind of demographic you want to look at. And what we have found, about 75% of people don't want it, and about 25% do. And that's an informal, unscientific poll that we did on Facebook. All 3 commissioners did it. We did it right after a commissioner from Jerome did it. I thought it was a good idea. I brought it back to the commission, and we did that just to get the temperament, just to see. Because if you're going to make a law, because when you say mandate, and by the way, a lot of people don't understand what mandate means. They think it's just a suggestion. Mandate means you have to, and if you don't, there are sanctions. Sanctions can be citations. They can go all the way up to arrest, depending on how the ordinance is written. So when you make a law that is a mandate, that you have to do, and there's sanctions attached to it, you need to ensure that it's going to be followed somewhat by at least the majority. And obviously, what we're hearing, the majority do not want this. And so I think this is set up for failure. In fact, I've gone out and said this will actually make things worse because tonight, for example, you're going to see, I would assume, several hundred people at the city council meeting, many of which are not going to be wearing masks. And so you're actually causing people to come together and protest something. So you're not achieving your goal. I understand. I think the hospital, others have the right thing in their heart uh, to curtail this virus. And this is one of the methodologies, not the only, but one of the ones that could help. But you're actually doing the opposite. I think you're going to make it worse. That's why personally I'm against it.
I think, Mayor Hawkins, that a lot of this comes down to some of the newcomers on council. They're still trying to find their way around. When somebody comes in and somebody has a background as a medical expert, and you're trying to make your best judgment. And he's no relation, but we have another council member named Hawkins, and I read his comments, and having gotten to know him, he's a good-hearted man, and in my opinion, he's trying to weigh through all of this evidence. But somebody coming in, the old joke is if they've got a lab coat on, you tend to trust them a bit more than somebody else.
Possibly. I started last Monday's meeting reminding the citizens that even though all 7 of the city council members might not agree on an issue, all 7 of us are serving from our hearts. And it's disheartening to hear people accusing you of all kinds of things when not one of us, this is our day job. This isn't what we do for a living. This isn't how we support ourselves. All of us have become involved because we want to keep Twin Falls a great place to live, and we want to be a part of helping to ensure that it is a family-friendly community and that our values and our morals are represented. This one has just really kind of thrown everybody a curveball. Back to Don's point about his unofficial survey, I can tell you from the email that the council is receiving over the last week, I would dare to say it's 80% against and 20% in favor of. The in favors of are coming from the medical community, and I understand they're tired. At the same time, as the mayor of the city of Twin Falls, I'm responsible for my dispatch center and my police officers. And if one of the council members made a comment, if they went out and got in a car wreck, they don't know that the hospital could take them. Well, I would argue that if our dispatch center is being overrun with calls because people aren't wearing face masks, you can get in a car wreck and not be able to get the help you need to get to the hospital. Are we moving the problem? Are we truly doing something that's going to make it better? And I mean, that's the decision we all have to make in our hearts. Is this going to help, or are we just making a rule so we can say, well, we tried? And just trying isn't the solution. And I hate to see us make a mandate, a law, an ordinance that isn't going to make a difference in the problem. And truly, in my heart, I don't believe this ordinance will do that.
Got about a minute before the break. The other part of this too is that people, if it could harm business in the sense that somebody could say, well, I'll just go shopping in Filer, I'll buy my groceries there. 7 miles down the road, boom, I'm down and back. That's got to be a concern too, as well. That it will. I have people from as far away as Rupert telling me they won't be coming here to shop. That come here every week to shop.
I have heard a lot of that. I think that's kind of a human nature reaction. Possible, yes. How big of effect it would have on business, again, there's no way for anyone to know.
And again, in most of those businesses where they do shop, probably require it on their own.
Correct.
So
And at first, when Walmart and Costco came out with that, first people said they weren't going to shop there, and we've seen that's not true.
Yeah, I passed the lots and they're full.
Yes, yes.
Hey, we got to get to a break in about 20 seconds, but we have more coming up. Twin Falls Mayor Suzanne Hawkins and Twin Falls County Commissioner Don Hall joining us this morning. It is almost 7:15, and we're up to 27. I know when you start to say that we're up to 27 this time of year, we should be grateful, right?
Yes.
Yes. We've got more on the way. Yesterday morning, quickly, I got up about 5 o'clock, decided to go brush the car off and defrost the windshield. And the one day that the blower didn't come on was the day that I got ice and snow on the windshield.
Of course.
Of course, yep.
Figure that out.
Yep.